Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is June 8th, 2024 and Barcelona are currently working with other clubs in order to convince La Liga to be able to rescind contracts without affecting their financial fair play. Also, the club continues working on the signing of Jorthy Mokio. And finally, Barcelona are set to lose on one of their academy stars. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and before we begin with the news, just a quick reminder to make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. All of this helps this channel continue to grow. Also, if you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the kit bag. And if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure you head to Bet Us. Both links for kit bag and Bet Us are down below in the description. Now let's begin this news video, which I am bringing to you a little bit late. I was out all day today. I just got home, but I decided that I couldn't go to sleep without bringing you a video with the most up-to-date Barcelona news. So here I am, ready to bring you all the news, starting with some pretty great news because Barça Atletic won their second leg of their playoff semi-final. Now, Barça Atletic played against Ibiza today. They had won the first leg of the semi-final against Ibiza 1-2 with goals of Pau Victor and Margiu. And well, today, Barça Atletic absolutely routed Ibiza, scoring 5 goals, with these goals coming from Margiu, Pau Victor, a hat-trick by Unai Hernandez, and the 5th goal coming from Ruben. And Barça Atletic winning the playoff semifinal 7-3 on aggregate, which was an absolutely amazing result. And now Barça Atletic will head to the final, which will be played either against Cordoba or Ponferradina. So Barça Atletic will face either of those teams. Whoever wins that playoff, Barça Atletic will face off in the final, and the winner of that final will get promoted to the second division. Now, I did watch the match. It was an absolutely amazing match. Barça Atletic were losing 0-2 the entire first half. In stoppage time, Margiu scores Barça Atletic's first goal, so they go to the halftime 1-2 on aggregate 3-3. Rafa Marquez makes some adjustments. The team comes back and they score 4 goals back-to-back in a matter of 5 minutes. Absolutely amazing performance by Barça Atletic. And by the way, if you haven't seen the goals, watch the highlights because Pau Victor's goal was absolutely amazing. And Barcelona need to pay those 3 million euro buy option. And they need to keep Pau Victor, and they need to try him out in the first team because Pau Victor has been absolutely amazing all season. Good news because UEFA have released a report about jersey sales, and Barcelona tops this list. Now, as you can see on your screen, these are the top teams that have sold the most jerseys in Europe. As you can see, FC Barcelona are sitting in first place with 179 million euros worth of jersey sales. In second place is Real Madrid with 155, so 24 million euros less. Then comes Bayern München, Liverpool, Manchester United, PSG, Arsenal, Chelsea, Juventus, and Tottenham Hotspur, all the way down to the last spot with 74 million euros in jersey sales. Now, this is an amazing figure because no matter how bad we're doing, no matter how ruined we are as other people try to claim, Barcelona are still the most watched team in Spain. They are the team that sells the most jerseys, which just goes to show how strong the FC Barcelona brand is. And by the way, Barcelona has released the numbers as far as which player sells the most. And right now, it's Lamine Yamal in number 1 in the first spot, Robert Lewandowski in second, and Pau Cubarsí in third spot, which just goes to show this shift in generation that's currently going on, where before, the top jersey sellers were, Messi, Suarez, etc. And now we have a 16-year-old in number 1 and 17-year-old in number 3. Now, speaking of youngsters, we do have to talk about Jorthy Mokio because Barcelona are still working on the signing of the 16-year-old defensive prodigy. Now, Jorthy Mokio is a 16-year-old center back, Belgium center back, whose contract is set to expire at the end of this month. He is looking for a new team. Pretty much half of Europe are currently fighting with him. As I reported in a previous video, Barcelona had met with the player. Deco is trying to sign him as part of this effort for Barcelona to recognize and sign young and emerging talent. And in fact, Jorthy Mokio was seen leaving the Barcelona facilities, La Ciudad Esportiva to be more specific, where Barcelona had reached with an agreement with him where he's gonna do some tryout with Barça Atletic, and if he can pass those tryouts, then Barcelona wanna sign him for Barça Atletic. But of course, as I said, many European teams are after the youngster, and as such, Barcelona are still working on convincing him to sign for Barcelona. Deco is trying to convince Jorthy Mokio that the Barcelona project would be the best destination for him. Given that, given Barcelona's financial situation, they're not going to be signing, these big stars. Instead, they're going to be relying on young talent from the academy and young talent that they sign. So Deco trying to convince Jorthy Mokio that this could be the best destination for him. But of course, he does have to take into consideration that Barcelona currently have a surplus of center backs. So we'll see whether Deco will end up convincing Jorthy Mokio to join our club. Now, speaking of defenders, promising defenders from the academy, I do have bad news because Barcelona are set to lose Andrea Natali. Now, Andrea Natali is a 16-year-old center back. He's considered a very promising young player. He currently plays for the Juvenil B in the academy. Barcelona were hoping to renew his contract, but it seems that the Italian has decided to instead leave Barcelona. So Barcelona are set to transfer him to Bayer Leverkusen for 1 million euros. And it seems that the main reason Andrea Natali is leaving is because right now Bayer Leverkusen have hired for their under-17 team the former Barça Academy coach Sergi Runge. So it seems that Andrea Natali wants to continue under the guidance of Sergi, and since Sergi is now at Bayer Leverkusen, that's where Andrea Natali will be headed, which of course will be an unfortunate loss because he was a very promising player. But after all, he is a center back, and there's a surplus of center backs currently in Barcelona. So, it won't be that big of a loss, and plus 1 million euros for a 16-year-old is not a bad deal at all, especially given the club's finances. Now, speaking of the club's finances, it's reported that Barcelona and other clubs in La Liga are currently working to convince La Liga to be able to rescind contracts of their players without affecting their financial fair play. Now, currently, as the financial fair play rules stand, if you reach an agreement with a player to rescind the contract and the player ends up leaving for free, that still affects your financial fair play. It still affects your wage bill, where it can affect how much room you have in a wage bill and whether you can register a new player. So Barcelona and other clubs are trying to convince La Liga to change that rule, where if they reach an agreement with a player to rescind his contract and he leaves, it doesn't take up space on your wage bill, which honestly doesn't make sense. If the player has already left, why would his salary still show up on your wage bill if you're not really paying him his salary? So Barcelona and other clubs are trying to convince La Liga to change this rule, because after all, this has been a big reason why Barcelona has not tried to negotiate with more players to rescind their contracts. For example, Lenglet, who Barcelona have been trying to get rid of him for quite some time, but they've been unable to do so because even if they reach an agreement with the French defender, it would still figure on their wage bill, and Barcelona would still have to figure out how to register other players around the space that Lenglet's salary would still take up on Barcelona's wage bill. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. I will be uploading another video. Lots of news coming out of Camp Barca today and every day as usual. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel and be on the lookout for that video. But for now, Visca Barça.